Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Sherry. Thanks for stopping by today. Today I'm working on a layout for the cut shop, and I'll be using three different files. The squared away file, and I'm using the 8.5 by 11, and then I'm using the stay focused cut files, and then I am also using the target practice cut files. So you'll see a little bit from each of those on my layout. And so I've already done a little bit of the prep work, so you didn't have to watch. I cut the file. There you see the square file and the smile. Those are from both of those files. The squared away cut file, I used 8.5 by 11, but I only used a square section. I cut out 9 squares to be just kind of like the focal point of my background there, and I covered it with pattern paper behind it. So I did all of that ahead of time so you didn't have to watch it on camera. And so I'm going to go ahead and just add some splatters and some things to the background to kind of build up some color on the background. And let me just welcome you back. I'm sorry, I have been away for a while. This layout I think was done probably close to 3 weeks ago now, and I'm just getting to the editing because I've actually had bronchitis. Haven't been up to myself the past few weeks, and so I really didn't even have much of a voice. I'm still kind of getting it back now, so I haven't been able to do any editing or narrating on my layouts. So that's why there hasn't been any videos from me in a while. So I do apologize about that, but I have a few in the wings waiting. I've just got to get the narration done. So I thought I'd go ahead and try to knock this one out. So I'm sorry if I sound a little bit hoarse, a little bit froggy. That is why. But I'm feeling much better, and I am on the mend now. So anyway, I wanted to go ahead and try to get this one out for you because I have another one actually coming out for the cut shop this weekend that I really love too. So anyway, this one, like I said, has been probably 2 or 3 weeks ago that I actually completed it. So I'm going to try to remember everything, that's on the page. I did use my April hip kit for this layout, and might have pulled in a few extra things, but from what most everything is from the April kit. And yeah, I'm a little bit behind on my kits. I've actually kind of got them stacked up now and just pulling whichever month seems to go with what I'm working on at the time. So, but I'm adding some splatters, just some random. I've been doing this. This seems to be my trend lately. Just some random color splatters on, up in the upper left and bottom right corner of where that cut file is going to go in the center. And just, I did the little, what do you call, smushing technique. I've done just a little bit of splatters and a little bit of watercoloring effect. And so that's going to kind of build up that background before I put that down. And I used the background papers on that is the, that's from the Amy Tangerine Rise and Shine collection. And I think it might have been from the 6x6 paper pad. I think I got the 6x6, yes, Rise and Shine collection, the 6x6 paper pad. I backed on that square cut file. And then the Smile, which is I think that's from the Every Picture Has a Story collection, and that is backed also with one of the, I think it's the Sienna. I think it's from Ella's Studio Sienna, the confetti paper, if I remember right. And so I'm just trying to add some little layers to the background. You can see there I'm using the Rise and Shine 6x6 pad, adding a few layers behind the cut file and kind of just building up my layers there. I'm using those little round, I love those little round wood veneer tags from Amy Tangerine. They're so cute, they're colorful, and so I really like those. I'm using those on the layout, and I'm kind of playing with the placement here. I wasn't sure exactly how I wanted to place it, so I'm playing with it a little bit. And then I wanted to use that cute a little cute wood veneer, and but I wanted to, that's from Freckled Fawn, but I wanted to color it, so I decided to do some heat embossing on it in kind of like an aqua color. And so I'm just going to do that real quick here, and I ended up messing it up because I was holding it with that little poker, and it yeah, it wasn't too bright because it took the color off. So anyway, I had to do it again. So I'm just doing some embossing on that to give it a little bit of color, and I'm working on that photo of my grandson. You can see up there on the left, and he's got this little, it's one of those little white flowers. I think I don't know what it is. It grows in the lawn. And this was like and I'm so glad that I took a picture now, because this was the first time, he's not quite 2 yet, but this was the first time that he actually has brought me a flower. And we were outside, he was playing in his little kiddie pool, and we were just sitting on the patio, and he picked that and he brought it up to me, and I was like, of course my heart melted. I was like, oh my gosh. And I told my daughter, that's his first flower he gave me. So it was so precious. I took a picture. I had him, took a picture of him giving me the flower, and I was like, I have to put that on layout because it was just so precious. And of course I melted, So anyway, I wanted to do the layout on using that photo, and so that's what this is. And I'm going to be using, actually, the title is actually one of the cut files. And I'm so mad, you guys. I had it placed perfectly, and then if you look there at the square, I put it down crooked, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I didn't see it until I didn't notice it actually until I was taking pictures, and I was like, crud, what do you do? I mean, I can't take the whole layout up. It just really, and to this day, still when I see that layout, it bothers me. So yes, I know it's crooked. We'll just call it imperfect art. I don't know. I was so irritated because I was really careful to try to keep it straight, and I even, put pencil marks on the corners, make sure I had everything lined up. And then when I laid it down, it just went on crooked. So anyway, I just had to go ahead and go with it because it's hot glue and it's not forgiving. So anyway, I went ahead and just kind of like stacked the layers out. I was trying to decide where I wanted to put what. And I ended up going with pretty much what you see there. I like that smile there on the bottom right. And I'm using just some pieces from the kit, the wood veneer, that little, that little flower, that little leaf pattern, I think it's from one of the Amy Tangerine, gosh, I'm trying to find it here. Yeah, it's like a little ephemera pack, and it was a little leaf, and so I put that there. Now, every picture has a story to tell. That is actually in the cut file that you get, and it's with the little smile, circle smile there. And so I decided that was perfect for this layout for me, because it was kind of like I wanted to tell, the whole reason for this was I wanted to tell the story, that was his first flower that he brought to me. So I just went ahead and cut that out and went with that as the title. And I left it white because I really liked the way that it kind of popped on the background. So, and then that little arrow going right there next to has, that's the one that I was, that's the cut file that I used from the, I think it was the Target Practice. That's from the Target Practice collection. And let me tell you, I love that set because it's got all of these little arrows. It's got, it says selfies. There's lots of fun arrows. I cut those in all random sizes and have them in my stash all the time because I've used them for Project Life. I use them for layouts. Just if you need a little random something here and there, those are great. So I always look for cut files that I can reuse over and over and over. And I think those arrows and things like that are perfect because you can resize them. You can use them on, I've used those on so many different layouts, like I said, Project Life. And so I think it's a great set to get because it's very versatile. And so that is from that kit, or that collection. And so I'm just going ahead and adhering everything down at this point. And getting my placement all set. And I really liked that background, that, I'm going to sew for a little bit, you guys. I don't typically do that. I love to sew, but I usually forget about pulling it out and working on it. So I thought, since I use the title as, it's just white, I decided to go ahead and just stitch over the title. And I'm not a seamstress, like I said before. So I'm going to cut out some of the painful details for you. Actually, it went pretty smooth. But I'm just sewing over that title just to stitch, kind of give a little added dimension, a little texture there. But the background paper I was telling you about, that's from the Amy Tangerine Resin Shine, and that's the site it's called Amelia, and Amelia is the paper, and I love the color of it. I love that it's kind of like a peachy orange, and I just thought it went good with the layout. So I really like the way the colors turned out on this layout. And so I have, I just have this little inexpensive machine that I use for stitching on paper. I have a nice big, a nice big machine for sewing, which is crazy because I don't sew. I think I've told you that before, but I got it thinking I was going to use it on paper. But then I was like, I got this nice machine, and I hate to, I've heard people say about, gunking it up with paper and all that, which I've heard other people say they do it all the time and never have a problem. But this is real convenient because it's just a little tabletop. It's by Janome, and it's just a little tabletop sewing machine that actually works really good for what I use it for. So I just ran the stitching on there real quick, and I'm just adding a few more little embellishments. And a lot of people are still asking about that little glue bottle. It's the fine line adhesive bottles, and I get mine off of Amazon. You can get 2 in a pack, and so those are really handy to have for fine details. And then I'm just adding a little bit of journaling because, again, I did want to get the story out, which is his first flower that he brought to me. And and he was so proud. I mean, you can see the smile on his face. He was like so proud, and I just thought it was the most precious thing ever. So I wanted to get it documented. And I'm going to go ahead and put that wood veneer down. And now I'm just going through and seeing what else I can find in that kit. We got those cute little, I love those little phrase stickers, little word stickers. And they're from Amy Tangerine as well. And I love to use those just randomly, on my layouts or on Project Live. And you get a lot of them. In different colors, which is really cool. So I was just adhering some of those to the tag up there, and I can't believe this kit's from April. It's still so cute. I mean, I still have so much left over. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add a few little sprinkles of sequins. I don't use sequins a whole lot, but I like them periodically, and these are really pretty. I think those were from Maggie Holmes, if I recall. Maggie Holmes collection. Yeah, Maggie Holmes crepe paper. And so I'm just going to go ahead and adhere a few of those on just for some little extra little sparkle. And this page came together pretty quick, actually. I was, of course, I had the prep work done, but first with that applying the paper, which actually went pretty quick. And so I just tucked a few little things here and there from the ephemera collection. You can see behind the leaf, I tucked the little, I don't know, it looks like a little flower. And adding some of the El Studio Sienna stickers to the top of my photo. I like to do that a lot and use those. And just adding a few little stars that kind of coordinate with the paper on that layout. And, oh, wait, there's a little space that's missing. I can put something there. Like I said, I never know when to stop usually. And so I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I can use. And I think that's going to pretty much wrap it up. I think I decide that that's going to be outdo it. I think I'm getting my date stamp right now because like I said, I have to have my date stamp. And so I'm going to first of all put the date on there. And then I'm going to use one of those cute little roller stamps. I think it's from American Crafts. And I think it just says love, if I remember right. Yeah. And just the little final touch there, and that's going to pretty much wrap it up for that layout. And again, thank you so much for tuning in. I've got some close-up shots for you, and thanks for watching. And check back. I'm going to have some more posted as soon as I can get those narrated and completed and uploaded. But thanks again for watching, you guys. Really appreciate your comments, and I hope you have a great day. Bye bye.